synagogue in the state of Georgia until almost 1959. Jews weren't welcome in Georgia. It was a Christian area, Bible Belt. There ain't want no Jews down there. But color, black, brown, olive white, Jew folk, got that man in office. We flipped the state of Georgia, which gave the Democrats a 50-50 split in Congress. But what happens? The vice president is now known as the president of Congress, of the Senate. She is the deciding vote. Who is that? A black woman. What? Black woman again? Tell me about the inflection points. Build back better, Joe Biden. Okay? So now they know where America has spoken, and it has said that we heard we was going to be the minority by 2050, but this 2020 and we losing all our power. Get the fuck out of here. Let's strap up and get up. So when somebody takes something from you and your family, what you do when you're back against the wall? You act like that wounded cat, you put the hump in your back, and you seize opportunities to invoke violence. That's what happened at that insurrection at the Capitol. It was them chickens of white supremacy coming home to the belly of their home, the halls of Congress, who has been supporting and backing them up even after that riot and insurrection, that treasonous act at the Capitol. You still had 138 of them fools in the House of Congress try to vote against and deny the ratification of the vote of the Electoral College that allowed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to be selected as the president and vice president of America come January 20th. You had these turnaround turncoats, invisible dummies like fish face ass Ted Cruz. I don't know who told him to wear that beard, but he's a damn fool, whoever it was. Probably his ugly ass wife. Who told that when he was running against Donald Trump, how terrible he was. Then when Donald Trump won, he became his best bootlicker, ass kisser, all the way up. Even during the melee, right after, he still stood up and tried that last-ditch effort to kill the certification for the Electoral College vote. Same with Josh, the other Josh Holland, the other fool who gave up the power sign to the protesters as he was leaving the building. See, it wasn't until them boys started kicking in doors that the folks in the gallery that are usually their friends and comrades figured out, we gotta duck, get under desks and shit and get herded out of here because they might hurt us. They were coming in talking about killing Nancy Pelosi, hanging Vice President Pence, all at the behest of trying to stop a steal of an election that wasn't stolen. The only thing that was stolen was integrity. The only thing that was stolen was the truth. And that shit happened 4 years ago when we let Donald Trump into the White House. But he's been building that, stirring up that Kool-Aid ever since he said Barack Obama was not a U.S. citizen. He showed us his whitehood. And I've seen photos of him with his father, Fred, with the Ku Klux Klan hat on at a rally. So you got to know where this origin came from. All the cases against him in New York, mistreatment of his renters, not wanting to rent the black folk and all that. You got to know all this history about who you're dealing with. It's about white supremacy. It's about their dominion over everything that they survey with their eyes. They believe that Bible verse that said man had dominion over everything. And they took that shit to heart. That Judeo-Christian shit, but they had to change that Bible. You know, they don't talk about the verse where they said he had hair like nappy wool and skin of bronze. Black man. Had to change that and put out the Pillsbury Doughboy little baby in the manger and made you think that this straight hair, long bearded, blue-eyed white guy was Jesus Christ. We all today know that old school lie. Okay? They promoted that, they put it in our schools, they told us all this history, his story. The man with the power of writing history from day one. They removed all that information about what happened during Reconstruction, how we rose as a people. But they'll show you those no blacks and whites at the fountains, bathrooms, and glorified Jim Crow. Because they want to oppress and suppress. So inflection points. Build back better, America, they say. That's what Joe said. He gonna build back better. We're at an inflection point, young ladies and gentlemen. And that inflection point is real simple. We're at the new Reconstruction. Think about it. Georgia done flipped. It's blue now. The heart of Dixie was won by a black county. Gwinnett County, parts of the city of Atlanta. Great suburbs where all these blacks have gotten educated and some wealth. Strong middle class. Their votes were counted last because they wanted the white candidates to rise above the fray and hope that the blacks didn't come out. But we came out. Thank you, Miss Abrams and all your other great young ladies that worked for you to get that vote out. We came out. We made a president based upon what happened in Georgia. We flipped the Senate based upon what happened in Georgia. We are no longer sucking on that pacifier of civil rights. We coming to get our shit. We will be the majority soon. Black and brown, not just black. Because them Spanish brothers, they still pumping out babies 100 miles an hour. But we're going to have to learn how to share the wealth. So we can get the money. We can get the power. And we can command respect. So what did they do? They started saying, we're going to lose all the money and all the... We got to keep that respect and that power, so we're going to change the judiciary system. We're going to put in all these young conservative judges. We're going to block all this. We're going to not let Merrick Garland get in. We're going to give these 3 new seats to Donald Trump. And hopefully that he get enough foolish rednecks in there like them last 2 he got in there and to the Supreme Court. But I like that new play that Joe Biden just did. He took that failed attempt of a Supreme Court Justice, Merrick Garland, and made him the head of DOJ. And then he said, watch this. The Attorney General of the United States doesn't work for me. He works for the people. He's not my lawyer. He's everyone's lawyer. Cold word for lock that bam up if you like. I ain't gonna stop it. Politically, Joe Biden said, I don't think a president should be locked up. But the DOJ is independent. They can do whatever the law standards for him to do. Well, you got to understand that that was not just a riot. That Donald Trump and his family members and Congressman Moe, all those Rudy Giuliani got up there with all that rhetoric to rile up them fools and had them march them 15 blocks to tear up that building. That was just not a riot, ladies and gentlemen. That was just not insurrection, ladies and gentlemen. That there is the definition of treason. That's treason. Watch it now. They start identifying some of the culprits that got into the building. And they hit it with light shit, like breaking and entering. Being on unrestricted federal property. Taking government documents. What happened to assault? Attempted murder. Because they were trying to kill Nancy Pelosi. Trying to hang Vice President Pence. What happened to those charges? What happened to the greatest charge of all? Murder. Because a police officer did die along with 4 other people. I don't know about you, but I got some friends that were in jail now for conspiracy to commit murder. They didn't shoot the person, but they were in the crowd, the plan for the robbery, and dude died, and they all went up for murder. All them bastards protesters that came into that building was a part of the conspiracy that ended up with the death of 5 U.S. citizens. That's called conspiracy to commit murder. Where's that charge at? They're gonna have to answer for that police who got squoze up in that door and almost died. They gotta answer for that police that got hit with the fire extinguisher, bust his head open and eventually died. They gotta answer for the young lady who got shot by the police as she committed that felonious crime, breaking and entering. They gotta answer for all the other 3 individuals that died as a cause of medical induced issues. That's all a result of the activity that was going on at the time. That's called a conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. That's a conspiracy to commit or be a party to murder. Where's that charge? They all better get it. And the greatest charge of all, when we talk about an insurrection, is treason. Back during the Civil War, the Confederate flag never made it to D.C. They were jokers in the building proudly waving that Confederate flag. That's treasonous. That ain't First Amendment freedom of speech. That's treason. What's the penalty? Death. Life imprisonment. Reflection. We got a new administration. We are entering the new Build Back Better Reconstruction #2 phase of American history. The difference is white power ain't the powerful. White supremacists ain't supreme. People of color are starting to be educated, mobilized, infused with money, power, and more so than ever, a reflection of what our niggas. So, are we going to see a Jim Crow post-Reconstruction? Because now we got all these people of color in Biden's cabinet. Look like all those people of color that were in office back during Reconstruction. But white supremacists said, oh, no, we got to get rid of these things. No, go out and get them out of here. We are not going to be a majority governed by the minority. But the tables have turned, ladies and gentlemen. Now, are we going to be a majority of black and brown, still governed by the white supremacist minority? They act like fools when they know they shit was being taken. They crashed the building. The DOD said we got a call the day before from the Capitol Police and said they didn't need our help. Let's look at that. See, Donald Trump called in all those forces during Black Lives Matter. He called in none of the forces for his mans and for them niggas. He told them to stand down and stand by. And let the Proud Boys and the other white supremacist group destroy that building. But see, when the Capitol Police went to call DOD, y'all remember what happened 2 months ago? When he fired all them folks over at DOD and the leadership left, and he put his cronies in there, they didn't even know how to fucking answer the phone. They didn't even understand the severity of the context of what was going on because he made it that way. This is a conspiracy all the way from the fucking top, dude. Understand yesterday was just, the 6th was just a revelation, an inflection point of white power and white supremacists' last gasp at trying to stop progression. But guess what? You can't stop change, baby. Change gonna change with or without your motherfucking permission. Change you must, or die you will. So that's what the message I have for all the chickens who came home to roost at the Capitol. Get with the change, baby. It was 400 some odd years. We was alright with being a motherfucking minority, get beat the fuck up, hung everywhere, and all this other shit. Just hope that after this Reconstruction that we don't come up with our own Jim Crow type laws and have your white ass back there picking cotton. Even though cotton ain't king no more. But we can find some shit for you to do. That's oppressive, submissive, and all of that. But we ain't them people. We come from a heritage of the sub-Sahara. We come from a heritage of kings and queens where it was all about progression. The first civilization, that's where we come from. You enslaved, that's because you couldn't understand how to get to who we were. You were jealous. What y'all say about the Indians when you took them over? Either we gonna educate them or annihilate them. But now you got an Indian young lady running the Department of Interior. Oh, they celebrating in the Indian community like we did when Obama hit pay dirt. And they should. They've been oppressed. Just like we were. They just weren't as beaten. They were just fucking killed. And moved on to some land that they didn't fucking belong at. But Build Back Better, Joe Biden, you making some strides, my brother. You putting some people in places that have knowledge of the places where you put them. You ain't doing what Donald Trump did. Betsy DeVos, head of education. Please. She just got there because her family donated all that money to you. Come on, man. Transportation. Had Mr. McConnell's wife in there because he did your bidding for you. Come on, Mitch. You been giving all those backdoor contracts to your wife's company in Kentucky. But they keep voting for you because they some dumbass whites that don't know nobody. But Mitch, your reign is over. Mitch, the bitch. You out of here. Sit over there in the corner as majority whip. His name Chuck Schumer got the motherfucker. You might all not agree with Nancy Pelosi. She 80 years old, but she flies enough. She might be a little slower than what she was, but that's our Nancy. I personally worked to get her that seat the first time. I worked on those committees. I walked them lines. I did those meetings. I got a photo in my office of her personally hand script thanking me. That's not to say I did it, we did it. We set the stage for us to now become a part of this new Reconstruction. Because for the first time in history, black and brown folks stood up and were counted. And our count matters. So all the ones who walk around talking about vote don't matter, I ain't gonna vote with your ignorant ass. We ain't serving you no more of that Kool-Aid. A couple white supremacy anymore. We not standing by now your ignorance. You worn on your sleeve like it was a gift that you got for Christmas. We don't need it displayed. For all you dumb evangelists, specifically you black preachers, who follow Donald Trump all the way down that hellfire ass lane, may you go to hell with gasoline drawers and try to jump over the line, and let's see how that goes. Because at the end of the day, we all got to answer to something. And today, America is answering to those who make it interesting. But January 6th, 2021, the day that was in infamy, is only that way because it was the day that the entire world had a chance to see our oppressors act a damn fool because they're no longer in power to oppress. There was no security there because Donald Trump didn't see it. DOD didn't act when they tore up the building. And now they hitting these fools with light charges. Had they been black, we'd have been gunned down coming up the street. Had we been black, and they would have closed the fucking doors and arrested all of us while we were in there. I saw police tussling and fighting with folks. Nah, that didn't happen with Black Lives Matter. They put some tear gas bombs, flashbangs, and some other shit and overran us. And we were being peaceful. These jokers came thuggish, ruckish off the break. They're on the internet talking about bring your guns, bring your bombs, come on. Jokers came in with the plastic ties. They're gonna tie some folk up. Kidnap. They practiced this shit in Michigan. When they tried to kidnap the governor. That was a practice run. They came in with their long guns and shit. Nobody got arrested. They knew what they was doing. This was a coordinated effort. There was coordinated. It was like when the motherfucking wolf go in there to get the goddamn sheep. One of the sheep was in wolf clothing, opened the door and let the wolf in. Let me tell you a little story about the Capitol Police. 9 years ago, I was pulled over by the Capitol Police. It was summertime. Dude had his sleeve rolled all the way up, showing his biceps and muscle. But all I seen was swastikas and white power. The actual word, white power, tattooed on his forearm. Capitol Police. He pulled me over after I came out of the Rayburn building, the garage. I kind of hit the curb, sped, my tires kind of sped a little bit. He hit the lights. Now I got my credentials on the dashboard. I just came off the building. Didn't matter. He wanted me out that fucking car. Get out the fucking car, dude. And he harassed the hell out of me until he saw the credentials. Did he apologize or anything like that? Nope. But I took out my cell phone. I took some captions, some pictures of him, his tattoos, and all that. And I sent it to one of my good friends over at Fox News. She's no longer there now. I'm not going to use her name. Beautiful young lady, black sister. And she said, Nate, that's terrible what happened to you. I'm going to see if I can't press this up on the local news tonight. So I stayed up and I watched that 10 o'clock news feverishly, and it went off at 10:30. Nothing happened. And I called her the next morning. I said, LM, what happened? She said the producers would not allow her to air that segment. So I knew then what was shown now on January 6th, that half or better of the stripes and soldiers at the Capitol Police were white supremacists. Most people that live in D.C. already know this. So why would I see a whole bunch of my brethren coming up here to tear up some shit when I want to join them and tear the same shit up? So that's what they did. They let them in. They showed it on camera. They were moving barricades, opening doors, taking selfies, all of that. Now, there were some courageous Capitol Police officers. That other 30% that tried to hold the line. I saw them chase the black dude up the steps. He swung a baton a little bit to slow him down, but they overran him. They were white. If they were black, they would hit the ground and start firing and took out the front line, and the rest of us would have scattered. But they were white. They have dominion over all they survey as they think. They were allowed to be ushered out the door. Now we got to go through cameras and internet and postings to find out who these people are. You had them right there in your custody. You had MPD on the corner in the cluster waiting to be called into action if you really wanted to do something. But those who they were attacking were sheltered in place. And those who could save them from this calamity told them, I'm going to walk with you to the Capitol. Then him and his family got in the fucking car and drove back to the White House and watched this shit unfold on TV as he tweeted about his comrades and how proud he was. Now they're calling for more insurrection on the day of the inauguration, the 20th. They erected a fence. Let's see how that shit works. But I'm going to applaud Mayor Bowser and Sergeant Conti, who's a D.C. resident. They structured a deal to say, move that barrier a little more away from that damn Capitol building. Because on the other side of that fence is D.C. property. We don't have to wait for the feds to call us now. We can bust some heads on our own regard. And I hope Merle Bowser, the mayor of this city, who I'm not really a fan of, to be honest, but I am a fan of her new chief. Conti, I'm speaking to you, my brother. I hope you hold the line. That fine blue line. Because they killed one of y'all peoples in that Capitol building. One of your law enforcement brethrens. I hope you hold the line. And if they get out of order, I hope you bust them in the head like you do us. And show us who you really are. Washington, D.C. native. Chocolate City native. Let's see what it is. They want to come with that bullshit. Let's set them up for that bullshit. They want to ride and act a fool. Let's treat them like you treat us when we ride and act a fool. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Remember that? Let's see how that's going to be on the 20th. Now, we know that out of the 68 people that were arrested that night by MPD, only one of them was a citizen of Washington, D.C. All the rest of them came from other places. So that means they crossed the bridge, they flew in here. All we need to do is look at the manifest of transportation against all the postings on social media. And we already identify who these clowns were. Go get them. You pulled in 13 high-profile people. What the fuck to do? It was over 2,000 people on those grounds, and each one of them need to be charged. Each and every one of them was not doing no First Amendment bullshit. When you came on those grounds, you were in restricted area. Felony, federal charge. Get that ass. You know who they were. You let them walk out and go free. Reflection point. Build back better, Joe Biden. Let's see law and order for real. Got Merrick Garland, who those Republicans and Trump denied the opportunity to be a Supreme Court justice. Now he is the AG running the Department of Justice. I'm not saying, Merrick Garland, you should go in there with a big chip on your shoulder and go after all of them because of what happened to you, but I should say it should influence your decision to do the right damn thing. Lock their asses up. Trump cannot pardon himself. He can only pardon his children for the crimes that were committed while he was in office, but there's a hell of a lot of crimes that they did on the federal level prior to him getting into office. There was a whole lot of crimes of treason they committed the other day that he can't pardon them for. And on the state level, I hope them motherfuckers in the 7th District of New York burn their asses to the ground. Because this whole 4 years has been a grift, a con, a scandal at the highest proportion. Inflection point. Chickens coming home to roost. That's what's been happening around here. There's a power shift going on, ladies and gentlemen. So let me talk to my people. People of color. Get off your ass. This is our chance. Get off your ass. This is our chance, baby. Get off the corners and get in class. If you don't want to go to school, join the military, get a trade, do something. This is our chance of reconstruction. The foot of oppression has been lifted a little bit. Let's scurry and run from underneath it. This is our fucking chance, people of color, to do better. Now that you know better, let's see if you can do better. That's Nate Jenkins, man. We politicking our way. Peace.